Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be what the narcissist wants you thinking. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So what does the narcissist want you thinking? That depends on where you are or where you were when you were in that relationship with them. Let's dig into the beginning. In the beginning of that relationship, most likely you experienced the love bomb / euphoric stage. And if you did, the narcissist back then was wearing a mask to manipulate you. They were trying to draw you into their web of manipulation. They were trying to dip you into the deep end of destruction. But they didn't let you know that. What they did is they came at you with probably batting their eyelashes and showing you the rosy colored cheeks, and they were glomming onto you, and they were assimilating themselves to you. They were learning about your hopes, your dreams, your aspirations, your goals, about your past, about your present, and where you wanted to go in the future. And the narcissist was testing you, and they were testing out if you were an empath, or if you were kind and loving, and if you came from a stable family, or if you had a lot of money, etc. You see, to the narcissist, everybody is looked upon as an opportunity, and you are no different. I certainly am no different. But the narcissist in the beginning of that relationship wanted you thinking that they were like-minded, that they had your best interest at heart, and that they would be for you when things went south. Maybe, example, you had a health concern, or maybe you lost your bank account, you lost your money, or you lost your job, or some loved ones around you passed, or you couldn't participate in your hobbies any longer because you had a medical, maybe you broke your foot or something. All of these things I'm sharing, the narcissist was telling you that they would be there for you. And they were telling you what you wanted to hear from another person, a person wearing a mask, i.e. the narcissist. Now, the narcissist wants to create chaos, confusion, manipulation. And what they really want to do is take, and take. And when they're done taking from people, what do they want to do? That's right, they want to take more. But back in the beginning of that relationship, you were naive. You were giving to a fault, maybe even a people pleaser. You couldn't say no, the strongest word in the English language, because you didn't have boundaries. But more importantly, you didn't know that narcissism was prevalent on the planet. So you thought that that person that perhaps you fell in love with was like-minded. Nothing, and I mean nothing, could be further from the truth. That person was looking to extract as much of your resources as they could. Now, that is what they wanted you thinking before perhaps you got married, or relocated, or had children with them, or put a roof over their head, or loaned them money, or put them through university, etc. You see, they were coming at you as if they were equal to you, or perhaps you were actually even superior to them, meaning you could catapult them forward, and they were playing the victim card, or that they didn't know what was going on, or they're so fortunate and you are the soulmate and you are the love of their life, etc. But behind the hood, or behind the mask of the narcissist, their wheels were turning, and they were looking at you, and they were gobbling up every bit of your resources, and they're putting their game face on when they had to. In other words, when they were with you. This is the love bomb stage. And they had you thinking that, wow, this relationship can really go far because this person is showing me all of this beauty. They're showing me how important I am and how much they care about me. Again, that was the mask. Remember, even in the love bomb / euphoric stage, you weren't with them 24/7. You were with them maybe 8 hours a day, maybe 10, maybe you had a week or two together, who knows? But the mask was on the whole time. And their job, i.e. the narcissist, what they want to do to people is they want to have people believe in the mask in the very beginning of the relationship, in the love bomb / euphoric stage, and they want those people thinking that they just found the best person to be in a relationship with on the planet. Now, once the narcissist knows that they have you, meaning once they hear the magic words, I love you, or let's get married, or let's have kids, or let's go into business, once they hear any and or all of those words, they are saying to themselves, okay, I got this person now trapped in the trauma bond. I got them where I want them. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift the mask a little bit. I'm going to tilt it to the left or the right just a little bit. And I am not going to give them all the fake adoration, the fake empathy, and the fake love, and the fake kindness, because I want them thinking that they are going to need me now. Now, this part of the video is going to be a little deeper, but the point being is, in the beginning, the narcissist wanted you thinking that you just found the best thing since sliced bread. That's not what it was. What it was the most challenging and or toxic relationship you had ever been a part of. We now know that. But what else did the narcissist want you thinking? Well, once they knew they had you, and let's say you did relocate or get married, etc., or went into business, now they knew that you were locked down. They now knew that you were going nowhere. And they now knew that they could manipulate you and your feelings, your emotions, your assets, your hobbies, your hopes, dreams, aspirations, the people you did or did not communicate with. You were beginning to be groomed. You were like a piece of clay being molded. You were being shaped into whatever the narcissist wanted to use you as. Now, again, I don't say this lightly. When you're in the devaluation stage or the narcissistic fog, it is not a pleasant place to be. It's a place you didn't even know existed. And number two, it's where you were existing. And number three, to get out of there is very challenging, to say the least, but you did it or you're doing it. But when you're in the devaluation stage, the narcissist wanted you thinking that you needed them, that you needed to be with them, that you needed to fix the relationship, that you needed to be a sounding board, that you needed to be the person that consumed the verbal abuse, that you needed to be the person who paid the bills, that you needed to be the person who would help the narcissist get through life. Now, why I say that last part is because when you're in the fog and you're in it so deep, you don't know what's going on. You have become a shell of yourself. You are most likely isolated. Your hobby groups have disappeared. Your friends and network of circle of friends has definitely shriveled up because of the smear campaign, most likely. Maybe you're not even communicating with your immediate family members, and you are slowly, insidiously being told what you will do and what you won't do by the narcissist, because the narcissist is a puppet master at this point, and they're controlling you, and they are guilting you, or they are controlling your relationships. When I said guilting, what that meant was if you would talk to somebody, there would be a price to pay for it. Maybe they would give you the cold shoulder. Maybe they would give you the silent treatment. Maybe they would disappear for a couple days. Maybe they would gaslight you. Maybe they would pepper you with verbal abuse. How dare you do that, etc. But in the devaluation stage, the narcissist wanted you thinking that you needed them. And you, back then when you were in it, that's exactly what you thought. Because you were on this roller coaster of emotions. You were going super high and you were dropped super low. What was left was right. What was right was left. It was bizarre world. You couldn't figure it out. You didn't know what was going on. What you did know is you were enduring and experiencing poor behavior being ramped up more and more. And the more that poor behavior was being ramped up, the more you were working for the narcissist and for the relationship. Think of it this way, that the narcissist was trying to drive a huge wedge, not only between you and them, but you and anything that mattered, but they were trying to break that relationship in the devaluation stage. And they were really ramping up the gas pedal of abuse. Now you may say, well, Andrew, if they were doing that, why didn't they just break it right then and there and end it? Like in the devaluation stage, why didn't they just call it off right then and there? Well, the reason they didn't do that is because they still had not extracted as much of your resources that they wanted. And they wanted to slowly bleed you insidiously under the radar of your time, your money, your empathy, your energy, your love, everything that makes you you. And they were watching you up close and from afar, and they were watching your life implode, and they were watching you helplessly try to get out of the narcissistic fog. But again, you did not know that that's where you were. All you knew is that everything you thought the relationship was supposed to be, it wasn't, because you were still thinking that you could get back to the beginning of that relationship, the love bomb / euphoric stage. But remember, that's when the narcissist wanted you thinking that they were the best thing since sliced bread. Once they know they have you, and you're now in the really deep end of the narcissistic fog, this is where the devaluation really gets ramped up. And this is where they begin to really toy with you like a cat and a mouse, because they're trying to get every bit of everything from you. I already shared with you what those resources are, and they are those and so many more. But this is where you don't know what's going on. You can't put your finger on it. But what you do know is you would be experiencing intentional arguments right before weddings you would attend, or intentional arguments right before barbecues, or you would be ghosted for a couple hours or days, or you would be texting the narcissist asking where they are, what they're doing, or who they're with, and they would give you nothing, or they would write the word K or the letter K, or maybe they would claim that they had no cell phone service, they missed it, or they were too busy, they couldn't get to you, but you saw that they read the message 3 hours ago, but they did not reply to you. This is called when they're keeping your life on hold, and they are really, really laying on the gas pedal of abuse. They are having you become invalidated. They are devaluing you, and they are not answering your texts. And when this happens, it really does a lot of damage to people. And it is not a fun place to be. Example, being married to somebody who turns out to be the narcissist, and they are talking to and treating strangers completely better than you, even when you are they're right in front of you. This is what the narcissist does. They treat strangers completely better than you when you're in the devaluation stage. And sometimes they actually do it in the beginning, but They mainly do it then. Another thing the narcissist would do, and you probably experienced this in the devaluation stage, is the narcissist will be walking 10, 20, 30 feet in front of you when you're attending barbecues, when you're going to weddings or ceremonies, or you're going to a graduation, etc., or into a restaurant, because the narcissist knows that they have you. And again, they are devaluing you, and they're telling you that they don't care about you. And more importantly, when you ask them, hey, why are you walking 30 feet in front of me everywhere? I don't get it. We're supposed to be a couple. We're supposed to be married. They just look at you like, what's your problem? What's the big deal? I wanted to get there a little quicker. You're so insecure. Like, you're the only person I have a problem with. Does it really matter if I walk in with you? They will say things like this because they want you thinking that you are the person with the issues, you are the person with the concerns, and that you should tolerate them walking 10, 20, 30 feet in front of you. That's not the case. Anybody in a romantic relationship, or let's say a familiar relationship, if you're walking 10, 20, 30 feet in front of another person, even in a grocery store, etc., that is not a healthy thing. It's not good. It's a clear indication that somebody is broken in that relationship, and it is the narcissist. It wasn't you, but they had you believing it was you that was broken, which is another part of the devaluation stage. Many times the narcissist, when you're in that part, they will tell you, go get help. You need to see a therapist. What's your problem? And you'll be scratching your head saying, wait a minute, maybe I do need help. I'm not sure. And when you're doing that, it's because the narcissist is gaslighting you, but they're also having you doubt your sense of self, because remember, you became an extension of the narcissist. And if they said jump, you said how high. So when they would suggest to you that you needed help, you need to see a therapist, you probably did it. Maybe you even went to couples therapy and you realized after a couple visits that the narcissist got to the therapist firsthand, or the narcissist was a completely different person in the therapy, but the couples therapy would not work. Now, I'm not saying that all couples therapy doesn't work with the narcissist. I'm telling you my experience with it. It didn't work because the narcissist played the mask. Again, I didn't know that they were a narcissist, and I didn't know that people wore masks in broad daylight. Now I do, and now you're getting the wisdom. But the narcissist wanted you thinking throughout that devaluation stage that you were never good enough. You couldn't be good enough, and they would be triangulating you with complete strangers, with you and people from the past, with you and people that didn't exist, with you that people and your neighbors or your colleagues or coworkers, etc., because they were always testing that relationship, trying to break it. So now, the last part I will share with you is when the narcissist, when the relationship ended, let's say they discarded you, as this part of the video will mention. If they did, my heart goes out to you. But when they did, clearly they had a new source of supply lined up, number one. Number two, clearly they had taken almost everything from you that they could. And also, they did not want to give you closure. So usually when the relationship ends, if you were discarded, it ends with a thud, a crash, a bang. And it is one of the most shocking things to ever experience on the planet, next to the relationship itself, which is the discard, because you can't believe that the person that you fell in love with, if it was romantic in the beginning, the love bomb / euphoric stage, turns out to be the person you see at the end of the relationship. And that's when you see the big black beach ball pupils of their eyes light up. That's when you see the mask get crashed to the ground. That's when you hear verbal abuse and how little they ever cared about you and how much disdain they have for you. And that's when they really, really, many times unload on you. And you're not prepared for this, because it is a shock to the system. It is a shock to the heart. It's a shock to every part of your essence, finally seeing this person for who they are. Keep this in mind. The narcissist is the person that you saw when they took the mask off. The narcissist is not the person you saw in the love bomb stage. You really need to get that part of the message. The love bomb stage is meant to entrap you in that narcissistic relationship. The devaluation stage is meant to keep you in it longer and to extract your resources more and more. And the discard is meant to inflict as much damage upon you and to have you pining and thinking about the good times in the narcissistic relationship. Now, were there good times in the relationship? Of course there were. Were there great times? Yes, there were. But did those two outweigh the toxicity, the gaslighting, the financial abuse, the verbal abuse, the mental abuse, the spiritual abuse, the sleepless nights, the being taken granted for? No, it doesn't, not at all. That's why 1 minute in a narcissistic relationship, once you've identified that that person is a narcissist or a toxic person, is 1 minute too long. You need to break the trauma bond. You need to get out of the relationship. You need to heal. You need to go no contact and block these people, etc. You need to not believe in the mask. And at the at the discard stage, the narcissist wants you thinking that you are missing out on the best thing on the planet. It's going full circle now. Remember how I shared with you in the beginning of the love bomb stage, they wanted you thinking that they were the best thing on the planet, the best relationship since sliced bread. Devaluation stage, and then discard. They want you missing the version of the love bomb stage. The truth of the matter is, many of us do miss that part until we heal. until we get the wisdom and we apply the tools that are provided for you on the channel and in the community, which is the narcissist has an insatiable quench for money, for relationships, for people, for stealing people's lives, for ruining people's lives, for taking anything they possibly can from people. And that was you. You were in that relationship for a period of time, so was I, but we're out. This is why we all are on the healing path, headed towards the pinnacle of indifference, the mountaintop of indifference. We're all on the same we're all on the same path, headed in the same direction, simply taking different footsteps, but going no contact. I cannot emphasize that enough. That will allow you to recharge your battery. It'll allow you to not miss the narcissist. At first it will be challenging, I get that, but after some time goes by and you process things and you learn about the definitions and the glossary and the terms in the narcissistic abusive cycle, you will get stronger. Now, it will take time. It will take a lot of time, but in your time, you will heal if you really slow your life down and have boundaries and understand that the narcissist never had your best interest at heart. When they discarded you, they wanted you missing the version that you had seen in the love bomb stage. That person does not exist. The real person is the person that discarded you. The nasty, dark, low vibrational quagmire state person, the person who does not have your best interest at heart, the person who was not wearing a mask, the person who was showing you who they were. And this is a tough pill to swallow for so many people, but I will share with you before I close the video. You need to not remember exclusively the good times you had with the narcissist. Did you have good times? Yes, of course you did. But think of all the toxicity. Think of all the gaslighting, the silent treatment, the stonewalling, the triangulation, the rage fits, the being hung up on, having the person walk 30 feet in front of you, when you would meet people, having the person you're thinking about not even introduce you as the spouse. Think about all these things, the door slamming, the cabinet slamming, who would open the front door, Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde. Think of the smear campaign that you endured. Think of all the lives and all the relationships that you had built up before you met the narcissist, and they all went away like that because the narcissist was working so hard to break that relationship and to break you. And that's what they wanted to do, but they did not accomplish it because you're here. You're getting the wisdom, you're applying the tools, and you understand that you are the priority. You come first, second, and third. And there is no longer any room or 1 minute in a day to be spending with any toxic narcissistic person. We now have boundaries. We are no longer people pleasers. We can say no, the strongest word in the English language. And remember, when you say no to something or someone, you are saying yes to yourself. That is a very, very important part to learn. Now understand this before I close the video. The narcissist, that cycle goes around with the trauma, with the love bomb / euphoric stage, devaluation stage, discard. Now, if you weren't discarded and you ended it, it's the same thing. You still need to have boundaries. You need to understand that removing yourself from that relationship took a lot of time, patience, effort, and you probably had an exit plan and you did it. You still have to heal from the relationship. But that cycle, when the relationship ended, there will be challenging nights and you will be thinking about the narcissist. But the whole point is, don't think about the version of the person you met in the beginning of the relationship. That person is long gone. That mask has been shattered. It cannot be put back together and super glued back to their face. The narcissist is a shapeshifter. They go any which way the wind blows, and they will drop any relationship at the drop of a hat if they believe there's another relationship that will catapult them forward and improve their lifestyle. That's just their nature. It's what they do. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it. From the beautiful Carolinas, this is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. Remember that. You are not alone. God bless you all. I love you, and I will talk to you tomorrow. And I created this video a little later in the afternoon. Please let me know what you think of the background and the noise and everything, because I'm trying to really make the videos old school, like in Costa Rica, with not as much noise, but it is kind of noisy sometimes here. So I love you all. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. All right, bye.